Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, share, do all that good stuff, because today is a special day. Today is one of them days where not only do we celebrate music, I have something special for y'all. One of the people I interviewed, y'all want it back. And it was called one of the greatest interviews that we've done, not only by some people who watch, but from his own people. And he seems to have told me something about leaving the game a certain way. And after you see stuff like this, how can you lead a game with visuals? How can you lead a game with a message? How can you lead a game telling people they don't know who you are? How can you walk through your city telling people they can't see you, yet you see that legacy on his back? You're leaving, yet you're leaving behind breadcrumbs for somebody to find their greatness right behind you. Shout out to Rock Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to Heritage Hip Hop Podcast this very day one of the innovators of sound, one of the people who not only gives a damn about the culture, but they give a damn about the legacy they left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Vertical Jones, the creative director of Sound University, Elite MC, the choir boy, the one that not only took his favorite movie, made it his name, and then took it to another level. He is giving people something to pick up as he puts it down, not for the last time, but puts it down for you to step your game up and go to the next level of your creative genius. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Oh, man. I know this is a heavyweight bout of mine. It always is. I had to take a nap. That's what I was doing. I was taking a power nap before this heavyweight bout of mine. I'm here. I'm active. I'm ready. I'm blessed. And it's always a pleasure.
Now, I ain't no heavyweight of mine today. Today's a celebration. If I had something to drink and you had something to drink, we toast, because you said prior to this on Instagram and things, you said this is your retirement from rapping.
Yeah.
Right? Not from music, from rapping.
Right.
So I'm gonna treat this like a graduation. This is a graduation right now. This is not a oh my God, why? This is is this a pivot or is this a redirection? And that's what this is about tonight.
Yeah.
So what is it?
It's a pivot. It's a pivot. Okay. It's Deion Sanders. You know,
or is it Kobe Bryant?
I think it could be Kobe, but I can't say Kobe. But so either way you put it, it's I felt like I dominated in certain aspects of the game. You know, and now it's like it's time for me to guide the next generation of artists, the women, to put the women up on game. It's time for me to use some other creative gifts. That's where the creative director stuff comes from, and just my attention to detail. You know, I think I could be more of service in this way, alongside my responsibilities as a dad, being a single dad for the first time. It's time for my attention to be a little bit more on some of the other details.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is not an interview. This is a graduation. And you've been in music for a couple of years now. You know what I'm saying?
A couple years.
A couple years. You put your brick in. You've been to study hall. You had to study to learn how to make beats. You went through tutoring because you study under the tutelage of Tom Gist. Shout out.
For sure.
You had rap, Real as Promise. You had Docs. You had other people who came while you had other people who you've come to take notes. But the most interesting part about being a student is becoming a teacher. When did music teach you? And then what did it make you want to teach somebody else?
Music has been teaching me since high school, since art high school. Me and my friend have started the Music Technology Club in 1996 at Arts. And since those early days, it's been teaching me, learning how to record, learning what an audio cable and a XLR plug and a MIDI cable and all of these things that I learned, I still use them every time I sit down to do music. Learning how to read music, learning how to write music, learning how to actually listen, learning how to understand sound. You know, there's something that I constantly learn. I'm in a constant state of learning. And that's something that a lot of artists don't realize. You always have to be picking up something new. Kind of like Kobe. They always talked about Kobe in the off season. He picked up something new in the off season. And I tried to do that for the last like 25 years.
Let me go with time again, because this is going to be quintessential to this conversation.
Right.
Learning is an ongoing process. You never stop learning. That's why we always ask people, what's more important, the student or the teacher? And the answer will always be a student, because the teacher has to learn his students to be able to teach them.
Right.
And then learning yourself, learning skills, learning this game. What lesson did you learn that you figured out within yourself you never mastered? You're still learning as time goes on.
Confidence is a thing. The fine line between humility and confidence, right? You should always be confident, right? But there are certain times and certain pockets of times and certain environments where you need to be humble. But you should always be confident, right? But you know what I'm saying? So there's a fine line. When do you talk your shit? You know what I'm saying? And then when do you fall back? Like, that's a lesson that recently I had to learn. Like, yo, you've been humble for a long time. It's time to put that down for a second, and let's really tell people what it really is. And this is why the whole tell your story is kind of like has been a theme throughout this rollout, because I think a lot of people don't know. Like the MC Shan said, I helped pioneer this. I helped pioneer the space of faith-based rap in the tri-state area. And if it wasn't for people like me, then it wouldn't be cool as it is now for a lot of faith-based rappers to get their shit off. You know, so that's one of the things that I learned. I'm constantly learning about technique and things like that. But confidence, and I'll tell you where I got this lesson from. I was with Rock Davis, and we were shooting a video for Method Man and Ghostface. I'm on the set. Method Man is freestyling the whole time we on set. He's meth. He's all the way meth that we learned to grow up and love. And Ghostface was Ghostface. And I watched these guys be stars in their own right. And I'm like, this is why they're who they are. They didn't wait till the camera said action to become Ghostface and meth. They was themselves soon as they walked in, they was like almost in character. And they stayed that way the whole time, whether the camera was on or off. And I was like, wow. Now, Meth, it wasn't that what he was saying was so dope and prolific. It was because you just knew he was that confident. He didn't care whether you was listening or not. Meth was just freestyling the whole time. And I saw that confidence. And I was like, when I drop this next one, they're going to hear the clear difference. You know, so that was one of the things that the confidence, the fine line between humility and confidence, and just being able to walk in that boldness that I got from watching them. I was just with Redman last week doing a video for Red, Kid Capri, and Faith Evans, and I watched OG I watched Red just be the Red man that I grew up as a kid, like almost like idolizing, for lack of a better word. He was Redman. He was that same star, you know, that I grew up watching on and off the camera. So this is like I had to like learn how to just lock in, you know? And that's why on the video that you show, me and Rock Davis is shooting the video on the side block on Branford Place, and he like, yo, let's walk. And we walking. I'm like, Rock, where we going? We on Broad and Market, 2:00 in the afternoon. Everybody on a spring day, everybody and their mother outside. He's like, right here. Usually I'd be a little apprehensive about recording right there. I've never seen a rapper record right there on Broad and Market where everybody was at. And I was like, you know what? I thought about Redman. I thought about Ghostface and Meth. And I just witnessed this. I said, you know what? Let's go. And I locked in, and it felt great. Even though people was watching and staring, and people pulling over their car, you know, people driving by throwing up gang signs like you saw in the video. Like, it was something that it felt so good to finally be comfortable in that confidence. So that was a big thing that I learned recently.
But that's being live. Now, what's more important when you're a freshman or when you're a senior? To be live or to be fresh? Because we're going to define them both as we talk about this pivot.
What does it mean to be fresh? And what does it mean to be live? So I need to understand that before I dive in, because it can mean a myriad of things. Does fresh mean being new? Does fresh mean doing something that you feel is that people need to hear, as opposed to doing what you've always done? That a lot of artists do that. They just do what they've always done.
Being fresh always meant being lively, because when you're fresh, you're free. When you're fresh, it's refreshing and it's new. When you're fresh, it's like doing something for the first time. Okay. That's why when you go into school as a freshman, you're new to the experience. But being being a live man and a freshman is it's two different things. Okay. Being live is living in the moment, while being fresh is being new for the moment. Okay. So when you do this, what defines you? Is it you being the live man or being the fresh man?
I think I'm both. What I'm doing for the first time is I'm standing in. I know I'm the best at what I do. When you listen to the album, you hear me say it. I'm the best at what I do. And I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of artists and stuff, and they talk about it, but it's been proven that I'm the best at what I do, at making rap albums, and the way that I do it. I don't think it can be matched, you know. So in that regard, it's new. Like, standing in this level of audacity is new. But at the same token, I've been doing this a long time, right? So there's that. And then I am very independent, and I'm very free. And I'm free because of so much of the trauma. Like, the mother of my children just passed away. I don't really care about what people think. I don't have any reservations about anything. I know what I have to do. I know the task that's before me. So I'm gonna give y'all this body of work real quick, and you're gonna understand who I was, who I am, and who I will be when it comes down to hip hop in general, and definitely for Jersey hip hop, the person that I have been the last 25 years. So it's a little bit of both.
As a freshman, though, your dream is to get to the graduation. When you get to the graduation, you reflect on the journey of being the freshman, being the sophomore, being the junior. Do you get why hip hop is such a journey, and why a story is such an experience, and why it should be told? And if you do, what's the most important part of your journey that you have not told yet that you're telling on this project?
I just recently, with everything that I've been through in my personal life, I was telling my friends the other day, like, yo, my story is even more interesting than my music is. If you find out the actual story, if you find out where I come from, like geographically, when it comes to hip hop, oh shit, When you say Newark, it's like I'm from Hawthorne, I'm from Avon, Chancellor, I'm from 18th Avenue, I'm from South. You know what I mean? But when I say I'm from Ivy Hill, you're like, what is that? And then you find out that, oh, all of these great artists are from this area. Primarily, the best, most successful artists that came out of North come from up the hill. They come from the Hooterville section. All of them, they come from the West Ward. Facts, right? So this time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell this story. My story is not just music. It's fatherhood. It's loss. It's grief. It's mental health. It's overcoming depression and suicide. It's faith. It's resilience. It's somebody that outworked everybody. I got more music than everybody, not just in the hard drives, out, released. I'm somebody that did not hold my music. I did not hold it in because it was a survival thing for me. You know what I mean? So this time, I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you who I think I am. Like the famous Kanye interview. I just told you who I thought I was. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm a master at making albums. I don't know about the other stuff. I'm not rich, all that stuff, but I am rich in a way, right? So I learned that, like, yo, just from movies, think about the pursuit of happiness, right? And the pursuit of happiness, when the movie starts, he's still Will Smith. He doesn't turn into the character until his wife leaves. And they have that argument. God, you're so weak. Go ahead and be happy. Go be happy then. And when she leaves, and it's just him and Jaden, and he's painting the apartment and all of this stuff, that's when you start to root for this guy. That's when the story kicks in. This is when he stops being Will Smith. When I start to tell this story, I stop being Vertical Jones. You start to see me as a father. You start to see my kids watching their mother pass away and their heart being broken. And they're learning to put their life in their father's hands. You're watching somebody that like really comes from this place where Wayne Shorter and Sarah Vaughan and all these people are from. You know what I'm saying? You're watching somebody that comes from such a rich musical culture. And when I start to mention these names and these things, it's just like, oh, this is also part of this story. So it's like, yo, it's very important to tell your story. The music ain't enough because what's going to make people care about it? Not the music, especially where we come from. What's going to make somebody care about hip hop right now? I've grew up on the best rap. What can you say right now that can move me? I grew up on Illmatic and, you know what I'm saying, Ready to Die and Into the Stage and The Shining, Smith and Wesson. What's going to make somebody care? It's the story. That's the connecting point. So, hell yeah.
That's what makes hip hop alive.
Right.
For you, Mr. Valedictorian, the thing that made your music come alive for me, because I remember, shout out to Chief Bally. He always gave me, said, yo, you listen to Vert, you listen to this Vert. And when I did, the first time I heard your music, it punched me in the ear. I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't. I was like, no, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Something's not right. I wasn't there. Okay. And then when I finally got time to listen to it, the black and white made me relate to you.
Okay.
Because through monochrome, whether you see whites, grays, or shades, the blackness, it's the still images, yet it is the slow movement of the faces. This is the slow realization of the background. It's you formulating the raw bones picture that gets to the core element of creation, and that's the heart or the spirit. As you've gone through this journey as an artist, how has your heart and your spirit battled to always be the best and produce the best so now you cannot be questioned by anyone or even yourself?
It was always there from the very beginning. I tell a story about Kobe Bryant being in Italy with his father watching VHS tapes of Michael Jordan, right? By the time he got to Lower Marion High School in Pennsylvania, he was already better than everybody that was his age. And it wasn't because he was so dope and prolific, because he wasn't. All of the NBA players say the thing about Kobe was he wasn't naturally gifted. He had to study to become that great. So that's why, like, the Monochrome series started with the death of Kobe, because I can relate to somebody like that. He didn't have big hands. He was an average size. He was an average weight. he didn't have a 45-inch vertical. He was about a 37, 38. So what made him great is the fact that he wanted to be great so bad. And that's where we kind of parallel. I didn't want to just be like a decent rapper and a dope producer. I wanted to be a dope producer and a dope artist as well. And I wanted my peers to respect my pen just as much as they respected my beats. So every trip, every project, everything that I put out, I'm always striving to be the absolute best. It's the thing that drives me.
I'm gonna have to pause and let's go to the Let's Build section of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, because he just said something that triggered me, and I want to build on that right quick. You know what the genius of Kobe Bryant is people telling him no. You know when I thought Kobe Bryant was going to be a star? Let me be real with you. His rookie year when he took the last shot and it was an air ball.
Yeah.
And he walked off the court so the people could congratulate, yo, it's all right. No, they were mad at him. But him being a rookie, he shouldn't have took that shot. But in his mind, that's his role. And when you have a belief, not a thought, because you could think you're nice, but thoughts could be changed. You could be humble. But when you believe you're nice, a failure is not a fail. It's an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
When did your belief harden to the point where you were the monument of it and not subject to it when it came to making your music?
I got credit. I got cosigns. I became dope very early. It wasn't until I stopped MCing, I started singing, right? As soon as I started singing, people was like, oh, Verd is like you too. He's like Coldplay. He's like the Black John Mayer. If anybody knows music, that's crazy. If anybody says that. I was in a session and I was playing this album Swim, and bro was like, oh, I get it. You're like the Black John Mayer. I'm like, that's crazy. I was set to go to the stratosphere. Like, I probably could have been in Glastonbury within 5 years if I locked in on the singing thing. And then Kobe passed. And then COVID happened. And I felt it. Shout out to my man, Potts Lawrence. We was in the studio and he played a beat, right? And then he just pointed to the microphone and he was like, and I wrote a verse that day and it came back. But I know it's been a while. So I was like, let me really focus. And that's why I started to work with other producers, because if I was doing the beats, I'd be so locked in on the sonic, right? The sonic elements of it that I wouldn't be able to lock in on the bars. So I was like, all right, let me get some beats from some people and let me lock in on the bars. And that was the thing. Like when I came back out, I wanted to be very clear what I was communicating. I didn't want to just be dope and kind of like vague. Like I wanted people to know what I was talking about and where I was going. And as I started to build, it got better and better. And this last one, 6, is really that statement. Like I feel like I achieved that the optimum level, the optimum leap.
Okay, and that all comes from confidence and experience.
And a lot of work.
Well, we call that genius.
Yeah.
Because people think genius is your ability to learn, but actually it's your ability to translate your time and effort into something tangible. And one thing about tangibility is, I'm gonna go back to what you said, confidence. To know you're from, well, everybody says I'm from North. I have had a large sample size of people when they think of Newark is Redman and Redman only. Then Rodiga, or then, well, me, same one in Artifacts, my favorite New Jersey hip hop group. But when you think of Newark, people think of New Jersey and Newark as this one blob, not knowing there's a North Ward, South Ward, West Ward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to make it in Newark is a confidence that not only has to be built, you have to stand on it. And Ivy Hill, for instance, is one. It's actually one part of Newark that's in the shadow of the word of the name Newark, but it is a monument within themselves. Because y'all don't know them buildings behind that Walgreens. If you never walked that area, you really don't know. So let me ask you this: what is Ivy Hill versus Newark, and how did the monument of Vert get built from the confidence of being from Ivy Hill but representing Newark at the same time?
Ivy Hill is holy ground. It's Motown. It's low key Motown. It's low key Motown. It was like coming from the North meant I'm from the hardest areas. Niggas is shooting and it's like drugs and stolen cars. That's not where I come from. I come from a community, a neighborhood where everybody knew each other. You know what I'm saying? But in the close proximity, like Tisha Campbell goes to Mount Vernon, went to Mount Vernon. Rod Digger went to Mount Vernon. Lauren Hill is 2 blocks from the buildings. You know what I'm saying? Redman is 10 minutes away. Mark Homie lives around the corner. I'm there. My man Rowdy Roz is there. It's like all within 5 minutes each direction. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the chip on your shoulder, like, yeah, I'm from North, but I'm from this other place. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, it also made me work harder because I had to work harder. I had to be better than somebody that was from down the hill, because they just could be like, I'm from Chancellor and Schloss Street. I'm outside. I couldn't say that. Even though I always rode with official dudes, my thing was always about authenticity. And I've never tried to represent something that I wasn't. So being authentic and really representing exactly where I was from, not Newark in general. I always represented Hooterville or Ivy Hill. Specifically, I represent up the hill specifically. And that made the difference because I grew up very differently than somebody that may have grew up down the hill, even though those are all my friends too, you know.
Yeah, but as you become a freshman, you go into a sophomore, you are more confident. You have more of an identity. You have more of an understanding of where you're from, where you're going, and then you start formulating the tools that it needs to start being what you want to be. Let me ask you a question. Being that you've touched the industry, being that you touched the underground, being that you touched other soil when it came to being great, what did you take from home there that have made you official, and what did you bring back that made you official so that your next stage of the development was not only assured, but it was promising and it laid the foundation for where you're at now?
Coming from Ivy Hill, what I brought with me, is authenticity, right? I brought authenticity with me. As I started to make my name in New York, what I got from New York was polish, professionalism, the confidence to stand in front of a whole room full of people. See, when you're from North, you just shout out your block and you spit a little verse and you lit. He's nice. But when you got to go to New York, you got to go to LA, you got to go to Philly, you got to go to Baltimore, you got to represent, you got to have something else. It's not just bars. It was polish. It was presentation. So I had to look a certain way. I used to walk around and wearing a Marine Corps dress blues jacket because my brother was in the Desert Storm War. So I was walking with that. So every time they saw me, they knew that was me. The name, I was using the name Choir Boy. It's marketing. I learned marketing from being in these different places. I had to be very distinct. When you heard my music, when you saw me, you had to know what you was looking at. So I got that. So what I brought with me was authenticity, and what I got back was polish. You know what I'm saying? Like Motown. I saw how people were doing it, but I know they didn't have that fire, that hunger, because they didn't come from where I come from. When you come from North, it's a certain level of hunger. Like, we starving. We just want a shot. I just wanted the opportunity to let people know that I could burn. You know what I'm saying?
But I salute you because you've done in that time what I said the Clips accomplished this year in 2025 to bring hip hop back. And I'm not saying hip hop was dead, because that's stupid. What I'm saying is the clips had high anticipation, did a hell of a rollout, and do a hell of a job of touching the people and meeting them where they need to be, whether it's high society or even in the hood. Right. They are there touching the people and showing them the experience and growth which is needed to not only be accomplished, but to let people know that you exist. Right. From letting the people know you exist, Mr. Valedictorian, because this is your speech. From letting the people know you exist, how are you giving the class or your peers something to reach for by taking this pivot and making this your last wordplay album when it comes to rhyming?
You can look at the body of work. You can look at the artwork. You can look at the beats that I chose, the concepts, and you can be like, this is a blueprint. He did this on his own. I did Monochrome. I was telling my man Joe Pro, I did Monochrome season 1 when I lived in Orange on Mechanic Street in the living room. The whole thing was done in the living room. I didn't get into the studio until 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the blueprint. If you look at what I did, not from a subjective, like, oh, whether I like it or not, just look at what an independent artist from North did. Look at the videos, look at the partnerships, look at the collaborations, look at the friendships, look at the way that I built my career. I don't have to stop. I got everything. I know everybody. I'm still in the region. I'm still heavy. I just was outside. Pete, they know who I am. Now I'm saying I'm running with Rock. I know people down in City Hall. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm connected like crazy. So you can look at what I did. Like, damn, look at this concept album. Then he pivoted and just started singing, and that's dope. And then he knew when to switch gears. Look at how he did that while working a job and raising his kids. Like, I'm the blueprint for what an independent artist should be. You should strive to, in terms of coming up with a concept, and that music and these ideas don't sit in that computer, that you get that stuff out because somebody needs it. I had people that tell me at all different parts of my career that your music saved my life. And my response is, it saved my life too, bro. Because if I wasn't making this music, I don't know where I would be. So what I want people to get is not, oh, how dope I was. Just look at what I was striving to do and what I did, what I set out to do. Look at the work. You know what I mean? So that's what I want. And with my community sound university, I'll be guiding, I'll be teaching, I'll be like, you know, more of a coach, holding your hand. This is how you do this. This is how you get these ideas. Not my ideas. This is how you get your ideas out to the world.
That's fire. How we doing? We cooking or we a little light? How you feel?
We warming up. We warming up. I already know how
you know. We getting there. We getting there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first part of the interview. We'll be right back, and he already knows what's about to happen.
No, I know.
We gonna flip this, and we gonna go to the heart of what makes Vertical Jones great, because we did the underclassmen stuff. Now we're gonna go into the upperclassmen conversation, and we'll get to that right after this.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This Tribal Trigger Trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Dupre Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Karab, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
to my own shit. I don't care what no one says. Mad podcasters out there be talking all this stuff, and because y'all ride all them celebrity podcasts, y'all give them all the numbers. My shit is quality. I don't care what none of y'all say. And today I have a quality guest that not only is going to bring to you something very prestigious to this interview. Matter of fact, I ain't going to talk about it. We're going to do it right now. This is for you, bro. Project versus project. Now we're going to start talking about, as the junior and the senior, the upperclassmen, now you've made your life the point of your studies.
All right.
Correct? I want to go through songs. I want to go through projects. I want to go through your mind state, and I want to go through what I've gotten from your projects. Let's talk about Yes. Tell me about Yes. Let's go there.
Yes it was two things. It was I just went through a bad breakup with somebody I thought I was going to marry, right? Broke up, almost ruined me. Like, I was a mess. I was a wreck. And then you meet somebody new and you're like, I think this is, so it's the two things. It's like, I'm trying to get over this ex, and then I meet somebody new, and it's like those two emotions. And it was a lot of fun to write those songs and experiment with that sound, because I never really made anything that sounded like that before. But yeah, it was those two emotions. It was I need to get over this girl, and I think I'm falling for this new thing. Like, you know what I mean? It was that, and it's very split. It's almost half and half of those two messages.
But see, that's what creativity is, because how's the best way I could put this? You know, when you was in your junior year, you was like, I ain't really yet a senior, but I know enough to be able to rock with the young dudes and put them on a level if they prove themselves to me. Sometimes when you listen to a project or you make a project, yes, y'all, I've made projects before. When you make a project, it's like, I've done this, so now I'm better at it. So if someone asks me, I can show them how to do a project, but there's still more levels I have to reach. Right. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about how Monochrome adjusted your creativity from 1 to, let's say, about 4. How did that happen?
There were more things that I wanted to say. When Monochrome 1 first happened, it was like Kobe passed and it was COVID. And then 2 happened, and it was just like, there were more things that I wanted to say poetically. When 3 happened, that's when George Floyd and all that happened. So this is where Sounds of Freedom, and I just want to make it home with Skazoo, the messaging, they got a lot more aggressive. It was almost like a revolutionary. 3 was almost revolutionary. Broken Sky 3 with Docs. We was going. Like, if you listen to Broken Sky 3, it was almost like reading a new version of Revelations, the book of Revelations out of the Bible. I saw this, I saw the sky, I heard the horns, I heard the trumpets, like I seen the seraphims, you know what I mean? Like, it was very biblical, you know what I'm saying? But 3 was like revolutionary, and 4 was just like, I just want to make something dope. And then, as it started to progress, there were more things that I wanted to say, but 3, I think from 1 to 3, 1 was like Kobe passing, COVID, some family stuff that was going on. And then when I got to 3, it was like revolutionary, like almost like compared to Dead Prez album. Dead Prez, that album, I forgot what it was called.
Let's Get Free?
Let's Get Free. It almost put me in the mind state of that, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Revolutionary. And then when I get to this, the new one, it's a statement. It's a statement piece. This is a statement piece.
The thing about Monochrome is you position it in seasons.
Right.
And there's certain songs you have that actually, part of my language, fuck with my spirit intently. Mm-hmm. Sorry Not Sorry is one of them. And that's on Monochrome 5. Can you talk to me about Sorry Not Sorry in that process?
Shout out my man Rap, Real Less Promise. One of my best friends. We've been sparring for 20 years. Um, Rap came over one night. I think I was living in Orange at the time, and I made the beat. Or I found the beat or whatever, and I'm just like, yo, let's talk our shit. I think at that time the Sorry Not Sorry came out. I think it was Jay Z and somebody. I forgot who it was. I think it was Jay Z and Nas or something. And I'm so competitive. I'm like, yo, Rap, yo, come on, let's talk our shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I made the beat. He started writing his verse, and I came up with my verse, and we're just like sparring and just talking crazy up there, just like showing that not only are we competing with the other version of Sorry Not Sorry, but we're competing with each other too on the track. Just being, just being lyrical, just being witty. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. And I say something new. I started to say like nostalgia is a drug. My whole style is very nostalgic. I say all kind of stuff that would trigger thoughts of when we grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I always try to find a way to find something nostalgic to bring you back to just connecting with me. You know what I mean? So that's Sorry Not Sorry just came out of that kind of thing.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Because talking your shit means that you've arrived. Once again, that's confidence. That's being a monument. But you have certain songs that pivot the idea of the mind that brings the mind to a new understanding.
Right.
You know what I love about how you write? Your clarity brings the listener in, not just nods the head.
Yeah.
And one song you have, If Love Is Overrated.
Yeah.
Like, that's a question within itself that a rhyme can't answer, but a song can help you determine the lesson itself. So with your music, are you giving people thought patterns, or are you giving people your experience to come up with their own thoughts themselves?
It's both. It's actually three things. Stylistically, stylistically is uh is something that's gonna feel good. It's soulful stylistically, right? So soulful, we say that soulful sticks to the bones, right? You really get full. So it's that. So it's depth, right? The music has depth. It's gonna stick to your bones. You know what I'm saying? But them candy yams and them smothered turkey wings and that macaroni and cheese, it also tastes a certain way. So stylistically, it's that, but also it's soulful, so it sticks to the bones, you know. And then there's my experience, and then I also leave it open for you to insert yourself inside the story as well. So it's very layered, and it's very weird because anybody that has ever recorded with me and they can vouch for this, I work really fast. This is happening in 10 minutes. As prolific as people say it is, it's happening in 5 to 10 minutes. And you're sitting there like, I just saw him write that, or I just saw him just write half of it, freestyle the rest, or he freestyled half of it, wrote the rest, and it happened really quick. I don't even know. Maybe it's muscle memory, maybe it's the subconscious, I don't know. But it's happening really fast. And sometimes I don't even really understand the layers of it until I go back and I listen. I'm like, that's why sometimes your analysis of songs, I have to listen to it again and be like, oh, I did say that. Because it's just like almost how they say like the Bible was inspired by God, but man wrote it. So I wrote it technically. There's nobody else writing it, but it's coming from somewhere. It's going through me. And it's happening so fast. That's the only way that I can break it down. I don't know how this stuff is happening in 10 minutes. I went into a studio, shout out my man Clico. We did Bar Mitzvah in 8 hours. And we was done in 6 hours. All of the songs were recorded. That day, some of us was writing in the studio. That album was done in about 6 hours. So I don't know how it happened, but it happened. Because maybe it was supposed to happen. You know, so
Bar Mitzvah, y'all, who y'all don't know, was nominated for a Heritage Hip Hop Award for Group Project of the Year. That was a phenomenal project.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we ain't getting there though. That's what we're gonna keep that for a little
Yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying the process is it's very magical. Like I was reading something, I think it was called during the Renaissance. It was called "The Invocation to the Muse" or something, and I think it's like when you show up to the studio, you show up to your workplace, right? Like to talk about the Renaissance, like you know what I mean, a Renaissance artist. You show up to your workplace and you just start working, and in the process of working, it shows up. The muse, the magic, I call it the glory. I say the glory a lot. Is when you allow God to come in and assist you, but He has to find you working first. The creative spirit, the muse has to find you working, and then the process of you working, you're trying to come up with something. It happens. Oh, that's it. I go live a lot. If you look at some of my lives, I'll be jerking like you in church. And that's like I'm feeling the spirit. It just hit me. And now it's on. And then 5, 10 minutes later, I'm looking at the speaker like, what is that? That's special. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's a very spiritual thing for me. And I think Fela Kuti talked about that. He's like, don't mess around with music. It's spiritual. It's that it ain't nothing to mess with. It ain't nothing to play with me. So sometimes making an album for me or making a project, it's a discovery for me because I don't know what's going to happen. I just show up and I know how to rap. I know how to sing. I know how to make beats. I know how to record. But I'll be honest, I don't know what's going to happen when I sit down.
You know what? I want to impress you a little bit, just a little bit. You said somewhere, and you know where you said this at. You challenge or think every artist should do a concept album to put yourself in a box.
In a box.
And, that's right. And navigate the box because when you come out of the box, it's going to make you a better artist, right? And one thing about you, what? Am I saying it wrong? I said it wrong?
No. Yeah, you on. Come on.
Okay.
We here.
And something that I seen you do, because you have other projects besides Monochrome, like Nostalgia. I love the Nostalgia projects.
Oh boy.
I love them. And you do something that's very conceptual that I wanted to ask you. You have songs like Chuck D, Kumo D. You have songs like Nasir. You have songs where you bring out these other people's names, and you kind of call their spirit out by what you talk about in the rhyme. Why don't we have a vert or a stadium vert song, and you call something out yourself that you haven't put on album yet?
I don't know. It's interesting. I sometimes the Kumo D record, my man Pots Martin did the beat, and it's some kind of Spanish sample. And the person is like, I don't know what they're saying. I'm joking. And before I start rapping, before I start freestyling, I'm like, Kumo D, yeah. And I just start rapping. It was an inside joke. It was funny. The Chuck D song is I actually had a conversation with Chuck D on his radio station. And I just talked about how Chuck D gave me one of the biggest cosigns early in my career when I released a song about AIDS called I Know Y'all Heard of Me. And he gave me it was just me and him and he had a radio station in Manhattan. So I just was recalling those moments because I had really big cosigns, which also helped to attribute to the confidence. So maybe in hindsight, when I look back after a few years at what was done, and then maybe go back and be like, okay, let me recall. But I'm not at that place yet. I'm still cementing my legacy in terms of my catalog and the body of work. I'm still putting the art on the walls in the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art. I'm putting all the art up. Once the art is up and people can live with it, maybe I can go back and just in hindsight speak about the experience. Looking back.
You know how you inspire me? You remind me of Q-Tip a lot.
Okay.
And I don't mean you rhyme like him or you make music like him. No, you have an intellectual genius that when it's put into music, you get the fifth element, the sixth element. You feel me? We know about the senses. You got your nose, your mouth, your ears, your skin, touch, taste, all that, right? But it's the mind. That's the sense. That when you touch the mind, not only can you go outside of your body, you also bring the spirit inside your body. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from the Nostalgia projects. Because it's not like you just giving life. You're giving examples of perspective and leading the listener to formulate their mind around the music.
Yeah.
Where's the deepest place music can take you that words cannot take you?
Music. I always listen to a lot of jazz. I've been a jazz head since I was in high school. But I'm a Coltrane head, right? Shout out to my man Skyzoo. It's like me and Skyzoo battle, right? He's a Miles Davis head. I think he even named his son Miles. I'm a Coltrane head, and being that I'm from Newark, Wayne Shorter is like that third Biggie Jay-Z pop, right? When it comes to jazz, it's like Wayne Shorter is the third tier. Like him and Herbie Hancock was best friends, right? I started to listen to Miles recently, and in my opinion, that album, Kind of Blue, is the greatest album of all time. Number one. Before, I thought it was Marvin Gaye was going on, but there's something about an album with no words that says everything you needed to say at any time when you listen to it. So music can do that. You can have, there's sometimes I have music, and this is why the Monochrome series is so special, because I'm selecting music that speaks to me like that I don't even, some of the music is so deep for me, I don't even have to rap to it. And then I rap to it. Like Water for Autumn, like Social Distance with Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Like Make It Home. You could just listen to Make It Home. You could just listen to it, just the instrumental, and feel everything I wanted to say. But then when you add the words and you add the message, and it's like, wait. That's why it has a timeless element to it. So yeah, like music is a very powerful thing, but when you add lyrics and poetry and tone and pitch and poise and style and swag, and it really becomes three-dimensional.
Yo, that album is one of my favorite albums of all time. Blue and Green. That's what I put on when I think. When I need the world to leave me alone, and I just think. That's my one. And you know what's deep about how we building on this? Because this is getting me to my point. I'm gonna show you how smooth we are. It's getting me to the point of sometimes words take away from the effect of the song, and sometimes the song can take away effect of the words. One of the deepest bars in the Bible, a bar, it ain't even double. It's like a quadruple, quintuple entendre, is "Let there be light." Because when people think of "Let there be light," they think of the sun and the darkness. But when you think about how God uses light not only to illuminate the physical world, he gives you an idea. Also, to be a light, you have to be a replication of where the light comes from, which means let there be God. Let there be creativity. Let there be inspiration. Let there be life. And music is the thing that gives people so much, because music can give you the idea to create. Music can give you the understanding of yourself. Music can give you the world so that you can put yourself in the world to show the world you exist. And just like a junior, senior, music can also give you the point to where you graduate and you have this one thing in your hand, a CD, a tape, a pen, a pad. Right now, a computer, an MP3 that says, these are my thoughts, this is my understanding, this is my genesis, and this is my revelation. As you stand before your peers, ready to pivot,
right?
What is your genesis after you reveal that now it's time for you to do something new?
Sound University. I'm building my own arts high school. I'm building a Hillman College for creatives, where I'm teaching women how to really do this, not just be sexy and get taken advantage of. I'm teaching artists not what the craft, like how to actually make dope shit, not my dope shit, but how to discover what's dope for you, how to find that sound and get into a pocket where you could just make as many albums as you want and find the people that will like it and have a real relationship. I don't want to say career because it's so tainted. Have a relationship between your music and the people that will appreciate it. So the genesis for me is like, it's not fair for me to do what I do at this level and only be what I do. I don't instruct. So we go all the way back to the beginning of the interview and we talked about Kobe. And why Kobe was so special is because of Mamba Academy. People don't even talk about Mamba Academy. What did Kobe do with Mamba Academy? He started to teach women. He was having a WNBA players. He was having college, high school girls in there working out. Yeah, everybody else worked out too. But he had an emphasis on helping the women, and he had a heart for the women as an advocate for their league. It's the same thing. I'm going to teach the homies and the bros and all that, but just like Kobe, I have a minor emphasis on helping women too. So yeah, the genesis for me, the Sound University is my Hillman.
Mary McLeod Bethune said the character of his woman is the defining trait of a race. By building up our women, not only do we define our race, but we also define our greatness in giving them the opportunity to not walk behind us, but walk by our side.
Yeah.
I ask you this. Wisdom is a woman, as is written.
Facts.
And knowledge is the man. Through knowledge and wisdom, you get understanding. Translate that to music.
Knowing is one thing. Having information is one thing. Right? The understanding, for me, the application of it. If you know better, you do better. A lot of times we know better, we just don't do better just because, of lack of discipline. So it's like, it's those two things. For me, it's like I've gained so much information throughout the years, and the wisdom is knowing when to use the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I do with this information? And now, as I pivot, I'm understanding, I got to help somebody else. This is the mystery schools. This is where everybody is going to learn it. The next 100 years, they're going to be talking about Sound University. Like how this dude that was this underground music legend from North did something that changed the trajectory of music from a instructional standpoint, not what I did on the mic. That's going to be what it's going to be, but music is subjective. This information that I have to give is not subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like my son wants to play basketball. He's 9 years old. I'm like, you can't shoot like Steph Curry, but I want you to study Ray Allen's shooting motion. You can learn this. You can never be Ray Allen, but you can learn the fundamentals. So I'm teaching the fundamentals, and the understanding aspect of where I'm at is now I know what I got to do at this point. Because I could just be selfish and just keep monochrome 8, 9, 10. I could do that all day. It'd be fun. But who am I helping? There's somebody that has their own series that they don't even know how to put it together. And that may be the series that the world hears, and it may be because of my teaching. So I have to get to that because I have to fuel the next generation. Next generation, not meaning youth, but next generation meaning the undiscovered talent. New only means undiscovered. It doesn't mean age. It means undiscovered. Like there's somebody that's listening to Led Zeppelin for the first time, and mind are blown. I saw something recently, and some kid listened to Illmatic. He was on a reaction video. He was listening to Illmatic for the first time. I was so jealous of that. Like, I wish I could listen to Illmatic for the first time again. So.
You can, though. But you're spoiled.
Very.
Because you listen to music as a creator, you listen to music as a writer, and you listen to music as a producer. So already you can have 3 different ears that you hear something from. But when do you ever listen as a fan? That's what I really want to ask you.
Every night. I almost listen to Kind of Blue every night. I listen to that this year. I'll probably listen to that Miles Davis album every night. I can't if I'm not listening to like Gregory Porter. I'm listening to Miles Davis. I'm listening to Pharoah Sanders. It's usually jazz because I'm trying to process so much information that I don't need anybody's words, anybody else's story. I have enough. So I'm a music lover first. I'm a music lover first. So every day, every night, music is a drug for me, and I'm addicted to it. And the next when I launch Sound University, we have another conversation, and you'll see the way it comes together. But you have to be a music lover first. If I wasn't a music lover, the music wouldn't sound like this. The perspective that comes from listening to music. It's one of the greatest tools that I have is the ear that I've developed over the years. It's the number one greatest asset that I have is my ear and the way that I hear music. So I'm a music lover first.
Does that make you a stadium of one?
I think what makes me a stadium of one is the fact that I had to walk this thing myself this whole time. Now I had people that came through and helped. Shout out DK, Weez, one of my best friend, my management at one point, all of the bros that came in at certain aspects to help out. But at the end of the day, it was me making this music. It was me standing in the studio, me behind the MP, the Motif, the SB1200, the ASR10, me learning how to use Cubase before there was Pro Tools and Digital Performer. It was me putting in this time. I equated to Dame Lillard being in Portland. You guys have watched me the last 25 years score 50 and 60 points. You watched me be an all-star, but you watched me never win a championship. Because to win a championship, you need a ring. You need a team to get a ring. I've never really had a team. So in that aspect, that's what made me a stadium of one. I've had to be a cohesive man in the machine, so to speak. I had to do all this myself, from coding websites to writing, mixing, engineering, because I know how special having creative control is. I don't know if I told another producer what I wanted to do with Monochrome, especially this one, or what I was using, how I wanted to use AI. If I tried to explain that to an engineer, he'd probably be looking at me like I'm crazy. What do you mean? You're gonna sing it, and you're gonna make Taylor Swift sing it. How is that gonna sound? You're a rapper, but then when you hear it, you're like, oh wow. So the stadium of one is me having to walk this thing alone, and knowing that if I did that, the art would come out the right way.
Salute to you. I mean, I want you to now come up to the podium and address your class. Bar Mitzvah was an excellent class of bars, technique, camaraderie, brotherhood, and creativity. As you walk away from rapping, would you not still want to spar with your brothers and show them how nice you are?
I think I did that on this album, right? So I had a track that I made, and I sent it to Doc, and he was like, I like it, but it's not speaking to me. I'm like, hold on. I said, stay on the phone. We're on like FaceTime. I put together a beat in like 6 minutes. I sent it to him, and he's like, the song's called The Fallen. I'm going to send you a link probably Saturday, so you can hear it before. I mean, all of the inside circle people that have really been, you're gonna be one of the first people that hears the rough. He got this beat called The Fallen, and like 40 bars. You know how Doc does. And I'm like listening to this, like he went crazy. Tom Gibson rap is on the same song called One Time. And then I have some of my other favorite rappers, Poppy Stores, Big Ooh from Trenton. I have Brother Haas is on the album. Crazy. Like all of my bros, not all of them, but some of my main collaborators are on this album. I feel like this album is an ode to them. It's an ode to my OGs, and ode to anybody that loved hearing me MC, I feel like after this, I have nothing else to prove as an MC because I've done everything that I could do in this space. So no, I won't feel the need to have to spar. I've done it for 20, at least 20 solid years. I met Tom Gitz in '98. I met Docs like '01, and I met Rap about '04. So I've got 20 years, and anytime I did anything involving rap, I always involved all of them. So I think I'm good in that regard.
See that down there?
Yeah.
Choose your hot topic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing Nas versus Jim Jones. The hot topic today, it will be the bars or beats. And you get to pick where we're going to take this next part of the episode.
Okay.
Where we going, bars or beats?
Let's go bars.
Okay. That's pretty easy because everybody raps about something. Do you feel you said everything you need to say, even though your life is not complete yet?
On this album, yeah. On this album, this is a closing remarks. On this one, it's like, this is why I did it. This is where I'm at. This is. I kind of walked into my journey spiritually, where I'm at spiritually on this album. As if you really listen to Don't Know Me, you understand some things about, I say certain things like a man of the cloth, but I still peace to God, small g, which talks about my understanding of knowledge of self, but also where I'm at, the anchor of where I'm at spiritually. I'm still carrying my cross, but I understand. I have an understanding, right? I have an understanding, right? So you start to understand, wait, now I have to go back and listen to all of this stuff again, especially monochrome. You got to go back to gold tape, listen again, because now that you understand where I'm at spiritually, you probably missed half of the stuff that I actually said.
This is the full circle moment then.
Yeah, it's like, man, this album is so layered. It's so layered. And, I'm so comfortable. I'm so comfortable in this space, in this pocket. So like this is everything that I want to say. Now, as a creative director, as an instructor, as a teacher, there's so many lessons that I want to teach compared to like Alan Watts being able to just speak openly in a forum about all these kind of things. And these lessons will resonate throughout time. But as an MC, like I'm saying everything that I want to say, and the people that I want to be on there is on there, and the producers from A-Rap Music to Jimmy Duke to anybody else that's up there, it's just a body of work that you're gonna like listen to probably for the next year at least, because there's so much to it.
So you're ready to become the villain in your own story.
You know what? To be as confident as I have to be, that's a part of it. That's a part of it. It's like, I'm not trying to be nice about it. I'm the best at doing this, right? And I've seen other people say that. I'm just talking about the work. I'm talking about body of work. I'm talking about voice, flow, lyrics, cadence, substance, bars, double entendres, triple entendres, layers, misdirection, beat selection, concepts. That's what I'm talking about. Full body of work, full game. So it's like, yeah, I'm ready to. You got to understand that this is where we at. This is where we at this point in time. It's no beating around the bush. And I always show a lot of love, but when you hear it, you're gonna be like, this dude was the best the whole time. He was low key one of the best the whole time. And because I walked around with so much humility, you didn't really recognize it. But you can ask the bros that I collaborate with why they collaborate with me. It's not because my beats are so good. You can get beats anywhere. Why come to Vert? Why me? because there's an understanding. It's kind of like when Kobe and Tracy McGrady had that interview. You saw the respect. There's a respect with the people that I spar with, that I work with, and I can work with anybody in the city. Why do I choose to work with certain people? Why Swerve? Why Drift? Why Tom Gist? Why Docs? Why Rap? Why Poppy Stores? Why Chief Valley? Why these people? Because there's an understanding. It's like they talk about the NBA. There's a brotherhood here.
So let's break the curse, because the one thing I hate about New Jersey, everybody always talk about the 90s. Redman, Tretch, Redman, Tretch, and no, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Not saying that we shouldn't. I'm never saying that. But we never pay homage to the people who came after, or even the people who came before them that make New Jersey great.
Oh yeah.
What is Vertical Jones's legacy in New Jersey? How does New Jersey get to appreciate that story and take it to the next level?
The first thing I supplied the soundtrack for some of the best rappers in the city. I supplied the soundtrack for a lot of them. I was one of the artists that made North look good, from the Star Ledger to, of course, Unsigned Hype to WB11 to being on 2K with Shaq. Everything that I did, I stepped out with excellence, because I know what it meant to come from Ivy Hill, but I knew what it meant coming from Arts High School. Just like when you see Michael B. Jordan, he's a product of North. He went to Arts High School, right? He graduated a few years after me. But when you see Michael B. Jordan, there's a reason why people that went to Arts High School act like this. When you see Tisha Campbell, she's never going to embarrass herself. There's a level of excellence. It's almost like coming out of the Motown camp, coming out of Hitsville. I carry myself with grace and poise. I grew up a certain way, right? So it wasn't just, I'm from the hood, I'm crazy, I'm wilding out. No, I stepped out with a level of grace and excellence. I fed the streets for so long. I never was a gatekeeper. I can go anywhere in the city, no security, nothing. I'm outside. And somebody gonna be like, oh, what up, Vert? That's what it is. I walk with love, but I walk with boldness too. You see me, you're not like, he's soft, he's food. Like, you know what it is when you see me, right? So it's that, and then body of work, man, like beyond everything, bro. Body of work. Whatever it is that I say that I am is out. You can validate it. A lot of people talk about how good they are. They don't have no albums. They got one mixtape and a half decent album. I think I put out 10 albums in the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? These are the breaks, bro. These are the breaks.
Facts.
And some of the people that I look up to validated what I said that I was.
So then,
right? Yeah.
How much is the discography then? Somebody wants to invest in Vert and they want everything all at once. How much is it?
It's already out.
Out of all the questions I asked, that's the one he took his time on.
It got out of my system already. It doesn't, me holding on to it, I released it already. So if somebody wants to pay me for something that already, it's like, shit, it's out. Like, what am I going to do with something once it's out of my system? Once it's out, the reason why I'm able to pivot is because I got out what I wanted to say. It's therapeutic. I sat on the therapist's couch. I told the therapist about suicide, about depression, about fatherhood, about heartbreak, about emceeing, about my battles with why my life didn't match up to my talent, which caused depression. Once I got that out of my system, it's like, you gonna pay me for something that I already got out of my system? It's like, you're gonna pay me for this journal that I wrote? Like, all right, well, give it to me. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna build a nation with it.
You deserve it though.
Yeah.
You deserve it. So we're gonna start winding this thing down, because the bottom line is I want everybody to go and check out your discography. But here's a question I want to ask you. It would be very disingenuous of me not to ask you about your art. because
Okay.
your album covers actually are stories themselves.
Absolutely.
Swim, yes. You have monochrome, no frames with the baby on your shoulder. I
Yeah.
love that picture.
Yeah.
I'm big on album covers, yo.
Yeah.
So
It starts there a lot of times.
as your story goes on, what am I looking forward to as the album cover for this next project?
The album cover is a picture of me when me and Rock we was out scouting, we was shooting the film, and we was at this like water fountain in like Jersey City somewhere, and we was shooting the scene for the movie. And Rock was behind me setting something up, and I just went like this. And then once I put it in black in the Gordon Parks, black and white, monochrome, I was like, whoa. So it is really simple, but when you see it, it's like, oh my God. You know, it's kind of like all of my covers for monochrome is usually me and the kids or something with the kids. Stadium of One is a illustration of my son in a stained African inspired stained glass window, right?
Point
Exactly.
to it. Point to it.
Oh, shoot. Right there.
Yeah.
But
And I love that.
this one is about me. This is my story. This is Dad's story. This is the story of a father. This is the story of the man from Ivy Hill. This kid from North that grew up to be this respected lyricist that understands what the task is now is to go out and teach, to go out and build. Now we build. Now the gods build. Now the gods build. So it's
God's
like,
bill. I like that.
now I'm saying, you know what I mean? So now it's like, it's not about how good we are. It's like Kobe opened in Mamba Academy, and they're starting to come in. They're starting to work out with him, and he's starting to, oh, this is footwork. This is how you do this. The impact that he had, Giannis worked out with Kobe, got an MVP, got the championship. Kawhi worked out with Kobe, got a championship. LeBron worked out with Kobe during the Olympics, came back, got a championship. You know what I'm saying? Melo worked out with Kobe during the Olympics and came back elite, way better. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie worked out with Kobe. What happened? It's not what he did on the court. Is once he put the retired his jersey, now he was able to really impart a lot of the lessons that he learned throughout the years, and that impact. You know what I mean? Jason Tatum worked out with Kobe. Look at where he's at. He got a championship. Like, yo, these things happen from when somebody is courageous enough to stop getting so much praise. Oh, you're dope. Great. All right. There's some women out there. There's some artists out there that need me to let's just do this. Let's go this way. And they'll be good. I don't have to baby them. There's some people that really got some real talent, got real ideas, and just need to learn how to get it out of their head and get it to the speaker and get it to the world. So yeah, like this is where we at. This is why it's like, yeah, I can do this forever. Like, how many more? I think I have like 30 independent projects. How much more? What y'all waiting for the great tape when I'm 60? The great tape? No. God forbid. God forbid.
Well, thank you for joining us today on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast with the legend himself, Vertical Jones. But y'all know how I do. I got rapid fire questions. But Vert only got one question.
Okay.
Who is that? And as you look back on your career, what does he tell the world or himself that when he first started, he did not know?
That's heavy. I started to understand that the person I was trying to be, that I was that person the whole time. I go back to 8th grade, being in Miss Hampton class, freestyling in the class with Rowdy Ross. I was always that person. I idolized Nas. I idolized Jay, right? and I look at it, I see all of it, but I see this guy that's from North. The green is Arts High School. The green is West Side High School. All of my homies went to West Side, but I went to Arts. The green, the hat, everything, the stance, the cross. Parts of the video, the brothers is behind me. It's so layered. The story is laid out so well, and it's like, damn. When I look back, I'm like, God, you're so creative. My life has been so challenging. You know what I'm saying? So much loss. And I look back at the story and I'm like, this is a movie, bro. This whole thing is so cinematic. I went to Arts High School. I used to be right downtown, right there every day. It's a full circle moment for me to be standing there as an adult, where I grew up, where I got my name, and to stand there amongst the city, and it was almost like time stood still. I was literally standing in the middle of the street for a good 2 minutes. Nobody even moved. The cars didn't move. I was standing in the middle of the street, and Rock is filming me, and nobody's moving. Cops is out there, nobody's saying nothing to us. It was very magical. So it's like I was this person, the person I thought I was trying to become. I was this person the whole time. And I didn't realize it until I watched some of the playback. And I looked at Y'all Gave Up on Me. That standing in my B-boy stance, I was busting rats as big as One More Chance. I'm looking at it like, you reached that level. Like in The Last Dragon, when he gave him the belt buckle. Right? You reach that, like I reached the level, I got the glow. And now that I got the glow and I'm ready to step back, I'm like, now I know what to tell my students, my members. Now I know what to tell them. You can do it in half the time. It may not take you 25 years. You may be able to do it in 5.
You got 2 babies, right?
Yeah. Symphony's 15, Alex is 9.
And right now, this is my last question to you. One day, your children are going to realize Daddy was that dude. When does music fall back so you could be full on Daddy? And when does Daddy fall back so the music can give his children his legacy and they can help build upon it for themselves?
I'm there now. I'm dropping Monochrome 6. I have a singing album called I Have Everything I Need. And that's going to be the last one for me personally for a while. Obviously, I'm still producing. But for me, for a while, that's going to be it for me. And my goal is to lock in within the school year, to be more present, to really be very active with the kids. So this is happening in real time. When school starts, I'll be that. I'll be stepping back a little, not retiring because me and Rock is working. Sound University, I'm building that. But having to competitively do this, I'll just be like continuing to roll the album out, continue to market and run ads and things like that. Definitely doing the listening parties for season 6. Let everybody know when that's going to happen. And I'm doing a yearbook. So it's a coffee table book that I'm putting out for Monochrome that I'm working on. That's going to come out probably before the holiday. It'll be lyrics, it'll be commentary, it'll be pictures, it'll be scrapbook, it'll be some stories, so I could break down what some of this stuff really means. So,
man, that's awesome, yo. That's the other side of the game that people don't understand. You know what? You just inspired another question.
Okay.
In today's era of hip hop, what's the most powerful tool that you can use?
Right now, content, bro. Conversations, bro. Like it's not even the music. It's like podcasts, bro. If you're an artist, bro, and you can sit down with somebody and have a real conversation about where you come from and why you do what you do, and that'd be probably more advantageous than even your music. Because somebody will see a conversation and be like, I rock with him. They'll probably support just because of that. content is dope too, but you filming 10 videos a day is cool, but one conversation, somebody can see one conversation, the right conversation, and that could open up so many other opportunities. The problem is a lot of artists don't know how to converse, and you may need to learn how to communicate a little better. Because if you did, people would be calling you. And I think a lot of people did not know all of these aspects of the story, of my story. And as I continue to talk to people, you get to hear different aspects of it and see how deep it goes, how deep the rabbit hole goes. It gets deep, and there's layers of it that we didn't even talk about.
Yeah.
You know, so I think one of the number one tools is kind of like go have a conversation with somebody on camera and really talk about some of these things, whether it's something that you overcame, something you're trying to overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a great tool. Conversations, like things like this. Think about this, bro. The Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin interview was how many years ago? 50 years ago, 60 years ago, something like that. A long time ago. And I still get so much out of that one conversation.
Yep.
So the conversations are, I think, and that's something that people don't say, but I think right now, just going through that the last couple of weeks, the conversations I had, like, my kids may not listen to my music, but someday they're gonna, my grandson or something are gonna see this interview on YouTube and be like, wow, I'm gonna go back and listen to pop music. Oh, look, he's making that face, You know what I'm saying? All from a conversation. Now you could do a 3-minute song. You could do a 60-second micro small video for YouTube, for Instagram Reels or TikTok. This is an hour plus interview. And why is it that somebody will watch a 3-hour podcast, but they won't listen to a 3-minute song?
The conversation pieces.
Right? They go watch a 3.5 Casanat live. They're gonna watch a 3.5 hour Joe Budden podcast. They're not gonna listen to your music because they don't know you, man. They don't know you. What's the connecting point? What's gonna make me give you 3 minutes? In an hour, I'm getting to know you, and that's the difference. That's why conversation, because in the conversation you can get to know somebody, the values, where they come from. What about them can you connect with? So this is just recently, I'm just thinking about this. And I'm like, this is really important. This is really important. That's why Clips did so many podcasts, and that's why they did so many interviews.
That's right.
Most of their rollout was they did a couple collabs, dope. Cause, a couple other things, Carhartt, whatever. But the stuff that really hit was the interviews.
That's right.
The conversations, the backstories, the behind the scenes of what was it about this album that made you guys human? It wasn't just drug dealers. You were brothers on this album. I think Joe Budden talked about it. There were brothers on this album. And how do we know that? We listened to the album and then we heard them talk about it. How difficult it was to write the first song about their parents. Oh, shoot, y'all have feelings? I thought y'all just talk about coke. Y'all lost both of your parents 4 months from each other? That's crazy. Your baby mother passed. Your kids found your baby mother on the floor. She had a heart attack. You're a single dad. You're raising both of them by yourself. And you dropped 3 albums in the last year and a half. How did you do that? That's interesting. If you just heard the music, it's dope, but what? All right. There's a lot of dope music out. What's going to make you listen to me? My story. How do you learn my story? Through these conversations. So that's just my take.
Now you said a mouthful. You said exactly what the end of the interview was to stand on your square and tell everybody why they should buy your album or why they should listen to you. And you said it perfectly. I'm gonna just say this because this is not a retirement; it's a pivot.
Yeah.
But before, if you're the valedictorian, you were able to give everybody your speech. I want to end this interview with me talking to you, man to man,
Right.
And I'll make it quick. I want to say I'm proud of you. Because not too often do we have people who win. Not too many people that we see are rich. You are a winner because you were able to overcome the one thing that this world tries to teach black men, and that's self-doubt and hatred for yourself. And you're able to link with your faith and link with your talent to not only show God your thankfulness, but you give the world something they can listen and learn from. And I thank you for that. Thank you. Me, I'm not really a winner. I don't win things. You know what I'm saying? But as someone who's won, and I see it in you, it's inspirational because you don't have to be what people say you have to be to win. All you have to do is be consistent and believable. And when you believing in yourself first, made your consistency the win that most people who are cool over there don't have. And I honor you for that. I honor you for being a father, because in hip hop, we don't hear stories about fathers and their children and children celebrating their fathers. Mommies get everything. And in light of the tragedy and becoming a single father, not only did you become a single father, you become a godhead. So I respect that. I respect that. And I want you to win even further. But the last thing I want to tell you is this. I know you're going to rhyme again. I ain't even worried about it. Might not be an album, but I know you will. Because the one thing that podcasting has taught me is that as long as you turn the mic on and there's someone who's able to speak and you give them the time to share their pain, their joy, their story, not only are you helping them heal, but you're helping them inspire. So thank you for allowing me to have your story told on this platform, because at the end of the day, you're teaching me not only through your music, but through your words as well. And I honor you. Thank you very much.
I want to say something, because you talked about winning. In the podcast sphere, there's only one name that I would compare what you do to, and that's Combat Jack, the late Combat Jack, the greatest, the best at the podcast game. The best interviews was Combat Jack. Shout out my man Dallas Penn. That's my bro. Me and Dallas Penn and Frank Messer snuck into the Nas concert at Central Park. We hopped the gate, we ran away from the cops, and me and Dallas Penn and Frank Messer was at the Nas concert in Central Park. I had to take a nap before this interview because I know how heavy it gets. You are a winner because you have a platform that you still have. We had an interview 4 years ago, and guess who's still here? A lot of podcasters after the 10th episode are not around. We had an interview 4 years ago, and I was in Orange at the train station. It was mad loud, and I was like, why did I come to the train station and sit here, right? Couldn't get the light right because it was dark. That was 4 years ago. So much happened. You still here, right? So make no mistake. What a win is the ability to get up the next day and do it better. In that regard, you are a winner, sir. Just to speak life. Just to speak life. I was looking forward to this, and when I told my pops, he was like, I know my pops is going to definitely be into this one.
Well, like I said, as long as you make good music, it's easy to be an interviewer. But I wanted to give you something special today, because instead of me just asking questions, I wanted to show you appreciation, and I hope I did that.
No, this was great. This was something that when I do my movie, my film, my documentary film, this would be something that I talk about even when I do the book, some of the conversations, some of the pieces. You'll see, I'm going to put it together. It's going to be real special. Like, I do things for my kids, grandkids.
Yeah.
I do things for my son. My son is 9. I'm doing this for his grandson. That at some point in time, they'll be able to go back and pick up this book and be like, and listen to this music on whatever platform is out, YouTube, ZTube, whatever, right? And they'll be like, looking at me talking, I'm gone. I've been gone. That's what I do it for. And this is one of those conversations that's just like, it's one of those things. This is a moment in time. It's a timestamp. It's a milestone. It's historic. It's a historic thing. And one thing I want to say about my journey, history was made, history was recorded. And maybe you wasn't around to see it, but it was a hell of a time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hell of a time. History was made, history was recorded. We have everything. I have everything. I have newspaper clippings, I have video of everything. Everything I said can be validated. I do have receipts. And I did have a hell of a time along the way.
And
For
there's more
sure.
to come.
Absolutely. We just getting started. You thought it was the ceiling, but it was the floor.
Damn, think about that. You think you're walking into my greatness. You're only walking into the first chapter of a huge novel. Man, this was a great interview. Thank you for it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this interview, please subscribe to heritagehiphop.com. Go to Bandcamp, look up Vertical Jones. Stadium of One is up there now. Check out his website. What's your website?
Sound University, thesounduniversity.com. It'll be live in September. Stadium, Monochrome Season 6. It'll be out in August, early August, first week August. Crazy. Next video, it's called Medellin, directed by Rock Davis. It'll be out in 2 weeks. Crazy.
And groundbreaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you support the artists. You can support the platform, but most importantly, remember, we are God's people, and that makes us his heritage. So God's heritage is hip hop. Be true to yourself, be true to your art, be true to the people who love and support you, but love yourself because he made you to be a light. Remember, let there be light. Let there be light. And if he said you are the light of the world, the God said, let there be you, because you're a replication of God himself. And never sleep on your journey or your talent. We out of here, Vert. Any last words?
I want to shout out my kids, my daughter Symphony, my son Alexander Aurelius Jones. That's it, man. My kids, my cat Griselda Blanco, my cat. That's it, man. You know, bang, Ivy Hill. You heard?
And with that said, salute to the hill. Not City Hall though. Salute to the hill, and we out.
Right.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real